Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to solve equations that involve the distributive property. So when you see a number like 3 that's in front of these parentheses with nothing in between the number and parentheses, that indicates that that 3 is being distributed or multiplied by each of the terms that's inside of the parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and distribute this 3 out. So when we multiply 3 times 7x, that gives us 21x. And then I multiply 3 times positive 4, and that gives me plus 12. Now I'm going to bring down that equal sign and bring down what is on the right side of that equal sign, which is that negative 30. All right, so now we have a two-step equation, and in every equation, you're trying to isolate the variable so you can find its value. We want to isolate it or get it by itself. So that x, which is on the left side of the equal sign, it won't be isolated until I get rid of the 21 and the 12. Now it's easier to get rid of the constant, the number that's being added or subtracted first. So I'm going to get rid of that 12 by subtracting it. But whatever I do to one side, I have to also do on the other side. So I'm subtracting 12 from both sides of this equation. The reason I'm doing that is because when I do 12 minus 12, it'll cancel out. 12 minus 12 is just 0, and 0 plus that 21x that's on the left is just 21x. On the right side, I have negative 30 minus 12, which is negative 42. So as you can see, I'm one step closer to getting that x by itself. It now only has that 21 in front of it. So that 21 is what we call a coefficient. It's the number that's being multiplied by the variable. So what we're going to do is the inverse operation, which is to divide by 21. I'm indicating division with a fraction bar. So we're dividing by 21 on both sides. Why? Because again, this will cancel out, but for a different reason. 21 divided by 21 is 1, and 1 times x is just x. So now as you can see, I've isolated the x. I've achieved my goal of getting that x by itself. And on the right side, all I have to do is divide. Negative 42 divided by 21 is negative 2. And x equals negative 2 is the solution to this equation. Now, just so you know, you don't have to solve this equation by distributing. Another step we could have taken would have been to divide by 3 on both sides of this equation. And then we could have done 7x plus 4 equals negative 10 and solved that way. So there's always more than one way to solve things in math. All right, let's do one more example. And I'm going to do it by distributing. But again, if you wanted to divide by 1/3 on both sides, you could. All right, so I'm going to distribute that 1/3 out because, again, there's nothing in between the 1/3 and the parentheses. So that indicates that it's being multiplied by both of the terms that are inside of the parentheses. So 1/3 times 15x gives me 5x. 1/3 times negative 3 gives me negative 1. I'm going to bring down my equal sign, bring down my 5. Now, like I said before, it's easier to get rid of the term that is constant, that's being added or subtracted first. So I'm going to get rid of that minus 1 by doing plus 1. And again, whatever I do on the one side, I have to do on the other side as well. All right. Now, I did that because negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So it cancels out and leaves me with just 5x. On the right side, 5 plus 1 is 6, and I'm one step closer to getting this variable by itself. So that x is being multiplied by 5. The inverse is to divide by 5. And when I divide by 5, on the left side, I'm left with just an x. And on the right side, I can leave my answer as just 6/5, or I can write it as 1 1/5, however I like. And that's how you solve equations that use the distributive property.